It's Ink Masters, not Ink Mid.
Ink Trashers.
Yeah, Ink Iders. Ink We Iders.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to No More Ink, the official after show for Ink Master that also serves as your connection to the tattoo world. I'm your host, Ryan Ashley, and today I'm being joined by a best-selling author, writer, producer, podcast host. Man, this list goes on. Introducing Kid Mero.
Hey,
What's up?
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here.
That was a fire intro, by the way.
Was it all right?
That was hard.
Should we go on with the list? Should we continue to the next page?
A tremendous Father of the Year, you know.
Father of the Year,
Husband
World's
of the
Best
Year,
Baker.
That as well. I need the box to be able to bake.
Yeah,
but,
we gotta get you. We gotta get you on this competition so you could be an Ink Master too.
Yo,
just keep it going.
I got it. You know what I'm saying? I got the skills. I have never given anybody a tattoo yet.
Tell me about your connection to the tattoo world. When did you start getting tattooed?
I made the cardinal sin mistake of tattooing
a name?
Or getting a tattoo.
A name?
I
knew it.
Here's my hood rules for tattoos. You can't get a name unless it's a parent that you really like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't be on the outs with them. A dead person, you know what I'm saying, to honor their memory, or your children. That's it.
So if you are trying to break up with someone,
get a tattoo.
Get a tattoo.
Get a tattoo,
name.
And then get your first child's name as a cover-up. You know what I'm saying?
I like when people just cross the line and put just the line.
The line through it? That's petty.
That's
petty. I like that.
I've seen one with multiple names, all with lines crossed out.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Would love to be fifth on that list.
Hey, look, that means that person be, you know what I'm saying? And y'all not
true.
gonna be able to use that? Maybe you will, but hey, I'm gonna say it because it was on my mind.
God. All right, so now it's time to actually get into the ink. Here's your spoiler warning.
This week, we're testing artistry.
Yes, that's my thing.
True artistry is the ability to bring life to something that is lifeless.
On this episode of Ink Master, we start with the Flash Challenge. The theme is artistry, and each team has to make a 3D sculpture using only aluminum.
Use this medium in different ways, different textures. I don't want to just see flat, crinkled up aluminum foil. Save that for my leftovers.
So, what do you think about these sculptures? Which one was your favorite?
At first, I was on board with the Scorpion, and then I looked at the Reaper and I was like, there's a lot of motion, the flow, you know, it was reaching out, the action going on. Where the more I looked at that, you know, looking at the Grim Reaper and then coming over and looking at the Scorpion, I was just like, all right, this has motion, this has life to it. I don't know if they had a skull on deck or if they just did that.
No.
Yeah, so that was amazing. I'm gonna go with the Reaper.
It's hard because art's so subjective, and I think the Reaper and the Scorpion showed artistry, which is the challenge, in totally different ways.
Yeah.
It's two different types of artistry. Mike's team is classic, beautiful imagery that's shown with so much movement. And then when it comes to Allie's team, they showed beautiful, intricate details, 360 from every angle. We leveled up today.
But the Scorpion was weird and cool. It was artistic too.
Judges, it's time to vote.
Both teams killed it. My vote's for Team Mike.
Ultimately, the Reaper won, Team Mike, and now that entire team has control of the skull picks.
Congratulations, you will have the power to assign all the human canvases in the elimination tattoo together.
Awesome.
Head back to the shop and get ready for the next elimination tattoo.
This week's elimination challenge is bottle tattoos on the calf. Each of the canvases are people of color, because if you're going to be an Ink Master, you need to be able to tattoo any skin tone.
To be an Ink Master, you must be able to tattoo anything, anywhere, on anyone, regardless of skin tone.
I hear something.
This week, all of the human canvases are people of color.
There it is.
So, Mero, what is your experience in choosing tattoo artists? Do you look for someone that has experience with melanated skin?
Yes and no. First, I look for technical skill. You know what I mean? That's always super important to me. And understanding what I'm trying to do. If a client comes in with an idea, you as the artist, you know, you translate that. You know, what's in my brain, you put through the needle. So you know, I look for that kind of first, but then also it's super important to have somebody that knows what they're doing with your skin tone, because it's like, man, I switch around. In the wintertime, I am Bart Simpson yellow, and then a little later into the summer, I look like Eddie Murphy. So it's just like all over the place, you know what I mean? So the artist needs to know what they're doing in terms of like, hey, this guy's color is gonna change.
Well, I always explain it to people like this, right? Say this is your skin. When the tattoo needle goes in, boom, 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 it goes through all of the layers of your skin, right? But then these 2 layers are gonna heal. And so the ink that stays is in this layer. So whatever you see on top with a fresh tattoo isn't gonna stay. It's gonna have the filter of these layers on top of the ink, right? You know, like color filters, sunglasses, colored aluminum foil, right? You can see through it, but it tones it and tints it to whatever this is. So if you're olive, right? If you have like an olive tone, whites and brighter colors are gonna look more green. You know, there's warm, cool. And so you have to have an understanding of the color and everything of the skin before you're choosing an ink that's gonna complement it correctly. Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
I didn't even know. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's the science. That's the science behind it, bro. The science, there's inks, there's chemicals, there's all types of things going on, see?
Dermis, epidermis.
Yes, thank you. See, I only knew epidermis. Today I learned dermis.
Dermis. You may not be a tattoo artist, but I heard that you are graffiti?
Yes, I am a graffiti artist. I've been doing it since 1995. I love it. It is the one itch that will never be fully scratched for me. Like I have a marker in my bag at all times. I'll catch a little tag here and there, allegedly. I love playing with like letter forms, you know what I mean? Designing. How can I make this A look funky? You know what I mean? How can I make this letter be a character? Or how can I turn this character into a letter? Or how can I, you know what I mean? Just kind of playing with design and stuff like that. It's always been like a super interest of mine.
I mean, there's whole categories of tattooing that are inspired by graffiti.
Oh,
The
yeah.
New school tattoos,
Oh,
that
yeah.
whole era and everything. So art has a way of weaving itself into all different mediums with that same vibe. You know? How many tattoos do you have now?
Currently 4, stuck to my rules of children, you know, or people who have passed. You know, also I'm Dominican, I might get the little crest here, but I'm an arm guy. I feel like my legs are too big for like tattoos.
Too big for little tattoos, you gotta get a big one.
But I don't know what to put on my leg that's big.
Japanese.
That means something to me. Japanese, like traditional stuff.
Traditional
I mean,
Japanese.
these clearly are very traditional
Yeah,
style
tratty
tattoos,
tatties.
you know? So I kind of stick to that, because I'm like, you know, when I see a lot of older dudes, you know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, bro, like if I get the alien smoking the bong, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna hit different when I'm, you know, 85. I know a lot of people say that, and like it's a weird, it's like a weird respectability politics thing, I feel like. But for me personally, I'm like, yo, let's keep it traditional, you know what I mean? So the tattoos can grow with me.
Yeah,
you know.
I love that. Well, that means you're a traditional person,
You feel
right?
me?
Because I have some crazy tattooed on me. I mean,
But it
weird.
works.
It works because I feel like I'm always gonna be
It's a
weird.
tapestry.
I'm always gonna be a weirdo.
There's something about traditional that I absolutely love, like the very like thick line work. You know what I'm saying? Like just like boldness. It's heavy.
In the industry, we say bold will hold, right?
That part.
Bold will hold.
That part
so
also.
if a traditional tattoo is, you know, put in the way it should be put in, it's gonna look pretty much the same from the day that you get it until the day that you die.
There's a lot of things that you gotta go and redo, you know what I'm saying? Like, and touch up and whatever. I'm like, if I want it, you know. To me, a tattoo signifies permanence.
Yeah.
I'm putting this on my body, I want it to be there forever.
But I'm gonna tell you something. There's nothing that's permanent.
Everything is finite.
Everything is finite. And you gotta think about it more like when you get your tattoos touched up, think about how, like, you have a really nice car and you're getting the oil changed.
Maintenance.
Maintenance.
Let's go, Ryan.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, dog.
Yeah,
That's when you sit down with a pro, you get the knowledge.
Or it and just let it look like forever.
yeah, you could do that. I know a lot of guys that did that, where it just looks like they got like, you know, a map of Pangea, and they're like, that's my wife.
Yeah, obviously. Don't you love it?
Yeah, that's my wife, Olivia.
As a tattooer, it's brutal because you'll be at a bar or something with somebody and they'll be like, Ryan did this tattoo for me 15 years ago. Doesn't it look great? And for me, I look at it and I'm like, oh, don't show anyone. I can't believe you have that on you still. So, yeah, brutal. From both ends. You know what I'm saying? So, let's look at some of these requests that some of these canvases are coming in with, because...
Yo,
surrealistic, all-seeing eye, beaming rainbow light into a potion bottle with a hummingbird drinking from it.
Realistic, all-seeing eye
Yes.
with a rainbow beam beaming out of it to a crystal decanter with a hummingbird drinking out of it.
Drinking it out of it.
Can you see it in your mind? Can you imagine
That sounds like a football
sequence of-
play. That
of
sounds like
events?
Hummingbird Crystal Decanter, 47 blue straight on 3.
It's like a grab bag at a flea market.
100%.
Illustration of myself with the color chakras inside a glass bottle with a dragon head lid.
God.
That was ballsy. An illustration of myself.
I want a self-portrait.
A color realistic bottle with the continent of Africa in it, with the tree sprouting out, forming the continents of the world.
Yo, put Africa in a bottle for me, bro. That was crazy to me. He's like, I want a photorealistic bottle with Africa inside it, and then out of Africa, out of the top, I want a tree, and the tree is gonna grow branches, right? And then you following me? I'm gonna land this plane. Then the branches of the tree are gonna be every continent except for Africa, because Africa, remember, is inside the photorealistic bottle that is sprouting the tree that sprouts the branches that sprout every other continent. And then also, I also would like a little Yachty in the back.
And my kid's name.
Hey, right. I'm like, bruh, what? Listen, I'm a very competitive guy, and I know this is a competition. I would have walked right out. I feel like they are doing like a word wheel, and they're just like spinning it. Like, let me spin this 4 times and be like, I want a satanic elephant in a bottle on Mars.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is like, as these canvases are describing what they want, right? Do they have an image in their mind of exactly what they want it to look like, or are they just throwing shit out of the wall to see what sticks?
When you're too abstract and you leave it too much in the hands of the artist, that's when you gotta like really know who you're dealing with and trust them.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I just came to you and I was just like, Ryan, I got an idea. And you're like, what's the idea? And I was like, I don't really know, but I want you to put it on my back. You know what I'm saying? I trust you. I know you. So I'd be like, you know what? Whatever she puts on my back is gonna be fire.
I think canvases forget that tattooers are not mind readers. We can't read your mind, and words can only go so far because what I imagine, based on my human experience and what you imagine, they're never gonna be the same.
No, we have different lived experiences.
Yeah. All right, and next up, we're gonna travel back in time for Ink Remastered. Essentially, it's a shot at a do-over for the tattoo that eliminated a contestant from the competition. But for this Ink Remastered, it didn't send them packing, but it did land them in the bottom 2. From season 14, let's take a look at Bob's color realism corgi.
You made it look like your corgi, and it makes me stoked. But when I looked inside the ears, it just looked very rushed. The tongue and whatever is going on with his gums, I couldn't really tell what was happening there. I would have loved to see that stuff a little cleaner. It looked a little unfinished.
Even though parts of his tattoo aren't as successful, his choices are more impressive.
Okay, Bob.
What?
Hey, Bob Jones.
You see that?
He stepped it up. He got digital with it. Yo, hold on.
What is going on? To my knowledge, Bob, from then until now, has not all of a sudden become a color realism artist.
He went home and he was like, this is not in my bag. This is gonna become my entire bag now.
Maybe. I can't tell so far what's going on. Oh my.
There's a lot going on here. This is reminding me of like the adult coloring books.
Okay, I know what's going on with this. He's not just redoing the corgi, he's combining the corgi with his finale piece on this giant back piece into one beautiful revenge tattoo.
Come on.
And it leveled up not just in the color realism, which obviously it did.
Yeah.
I feel like it leveled up in creativity, it leveled up in perspective.
Everything. This is a graffiti terminology. He's got the bits and the doodads going on. There's
stuff and the
little
stuff.
things around. You know
Atmosphere.
What I'm saying? Yeah.
It's so rare nowadays with how popular tattooing is and everything to see something that you've truly never seen before.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm telling you, the ceramic is a hidden message. It was his finale piece. So he really got 2 in 1 in this one.
Yeah. Smoked it, Bob.
All right, and next up is tattoo review. So let's take a look at the art. So this little plum perfume bottle is Allie's tattoo.
I like this because this was a hard pivot. This was like, yo, what I'm supposed to do is no longer possible, but I'm gonna try to make do and understand the assignment.
Is there any way to get the shape of Africa in there?
Let's really try to simplify this thing as much as we can. So you're not gonna give me a chance?
No. I'm not gonna get tattooed.
Okay.
That artist over there, she's tattooing herself.
This, you wanna place a stencil for me? I'm gonna show all the other artists in here that I'm not going down without a fight.
I just like the way this looks, man. I like that it kind of looks like a butt.
It does. It's a cute little booty.
That
It's a cute little booty.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the peach emoji.
This tattoo crushes.
What I see here is a really great attempt to keep yourself in the game.
I would hope to have a chance to stay here.
But we'll have to see how everyone else does.
Now, ultimately for us, it came down to like, yes, the challenge of the day is tattooing, you know, a darker skin tone to prove that you understand what tattoos do, how they aid, all of that, right? But do you think that even though she couldn't meet that part of the challenge, you can't tell from the photo, but she tattooed this on herself upside down.
That's crazy.
Crunched for 6 hours upside down. We felt like that amount of grit, that amount of dedication, and that amount of like, I'm gonna get this done.
Yep.
That is a hard tattoo to do. And for the glass and everything, she crushed. This tattoo belongs to Boucher.
This is like, I was like, hey, anatomically speaking,
I mean,
there's no areolas here.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have gone to that doctor specifically. My biggest thing with Boucher is he's like, I know the boobs are weird, I know they're weird. And I said to him, why didn't you just cover them with the hair?
Or raise the level of the liquid in there a little bit.
It's a funky looking chest, dude.
I couldn't get them nipples straight to save my life.
If you had gone higher with the red liquid, it would have hid. You would have gotten away with it.
This is why you need areolas.
Yeah.
Because when you have nipples that are that aggressive, they jump out at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're
They're
gonna-
like an untrained cane corso in somebody's house.
They're about to cut the glass of that bottle.
Yeah.
Break
It's like,
that.
what is the temperature in that bottle? I need to know. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gotta be low.
This is Ishnard's tattoo.
This is kind of bangs because I remember the shorty being like, yo, I want a traveling monarch butterfly with the blah, 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 blah.
Color realistic monarch butterfly inside a crystal decanter.
And she lost me halfway, and then I was like, oh wait, you did everything she asked for.
Yep, this was bold, it was bright, it was clean, it was a knockout, this one.
That's why I like it.
But look at this. Here is my biggest pet peeve on it. Do you see how the shadow underneath the bottle, the shadow goes to the right-hand side? Do you see how the shine on everything is on the right? So the shadow should be on the left.
Thank you.
Or the light source should be on the left and the shadow on the right.
Thank you.
The shadow and the light source cannot be on the, it can't be on the same
They
side.
can't. Listen, that is graffiti 101. When you're doing a drop shadow on a letter, man, everything gotta be orientated in the same direction.
Okay, this one was done by Keahi.
This one, it was like the challenge was melanated skin. This is not popping.
Well,
on this
it's
skin tone.
because this canvas wanted this bottle with galaxy pouring out of it, right? What color is a galaxy?
It's just very like purple,
black.
blue, black.
Dark, though.
Dark.
So why is the rim of the lip of the bottle white and then it goes into skin tone? Where's the solid black? There's no solid black. So the problems with this tattoo, is it creative? Yes. Is it interesting and cool in the shape? Yeah. Where's the black, though? The Brain Bottle by Kyra.
This is hard. This is like black and white with the shading here, like everything, the light. I'm trying to like see where the light is going, if everything is in the right, orientated correctly.
Yeah, so the cool thing is Kyra did this trick with this one. Do you see how the glare on the right-hand side of the bottle goes through? It shows that it's transparent. And then Kyra used this streak of negative on the top right and the bottom left to show the direction that the light is going in with that trick. That's the reason you can tell exactly what's going on, even though there's grays and colors and shapes all over the place in this tattoo, right? The closer you get to the brain, when you really look at the folds of that brain, that is realistic.
Yeah.
It's real.
I was gonna say, like, this is like, I'm looking at this down the block. I'm like, that's a brain.
Yeah.
Very clear
Yeah.
what this is.
That was a tough one. She crushed. Devil in the Bottle. This one was Luca. I loved this one.
I like this one a lot. It hits near and dear to home because this is a very older Puerto Rican lady tattoo. You know what I mean? Like, she's out there at the club. She's looking for a young stud to take home. This is that. This is like, I'm crazy. Like, y'all, you could put me in a bottle of Hennessy. I go crazy.
Well, this...
But like, I'm a flower on top.
No, this canvas actually, this whole tattoo was her story of finding sobriety.
Oh, damn, I'll take that back.
You interpret art however you interpret art. There's not a description on this telling you what you're supposed to think or feel about it. You know what I'm talking about?
You see how Ryan just jumped on that grenade for me?
No, but the canvas's story was there's only a devil in the bottle, and then what comes out of the bottle is actually something beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
That's tough.
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope. I loved this tattoo. Okay, this was OJ's ship in a bottle.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this?
I didn't love it. The bottle seems incomplete. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it is. It's half of a bottle there.
Right. I needed the bottom of that bottle to be coming out and interacting with the bottom of that tentacle some way, somehow. Now it just looks like, is that a tentacle? Like, for me to really realize that this is a tentacle, I gotta look below the bottle. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise it just looks like, what, is that speakers, bro?
Yeah.
Like, what is that, subwoofers?
Yep.
And a ship in a bottle? What are we doing here?
Well, as Joel always says too, when you look at a tattoo, you should always know what the star of the show is, right? In this tattoo, it's like, what's the star of the show?
Right.
The bottle or the tentacle? Because one should be significantly more important than the other, so it doesn't just stack together like this.
Yeah.
You know? So this one is by Seth, so it was a hard one. This canvas wanted himself meditating with color chakras illuminated inside of a crystal decanter with a dragon head cork.
Yes.
How do you feel about this one?
I mean, it doesn't look like the guy. I don't know. I feel like there's a lack of symmetry up top with the dragon head cork. I don't know if that's just like the way the calf is sitting, but I feel like they could have been like a little bit more with the chakras too, because they look kind of like they just kind of blend into each other.
This was an extremely difficult ask. By no means was this easy, but no matter if you do this tattoo with black and gray, no matter what color the skin tone is under it, when you do such bright color that small, those shapes are not gonna hold for the long run. They're just not. They aren't.
Dog, it's like when you leave Fruity Pebbles in milk too long.
Yeah. But I do really love the dragon cork. Cute little tooth fairy. This one's done by Tennille.
I like this. Tooth fairy cork, very cool, very intricate.
Yeah.
The fairy trapped in the bottle. The pressure, you know what I mean, of the hands on the glass, like, you know what I mean? All that detail. I don't know what you would call it as a tattoo artist, but like in graffiti, that cloud around the outside of the piece.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
The background.
Makes it pop.
So let's talk about this, because you caught it on Ishnard's tattoo. Where's the light coming from in this tattoo? Upper right.
Yeah.
Right? Look on the bottom of it.
And then you see, man, why'd you do that? Everything has to go this way.
Yeah.
You can't have this coming up from here.
Yeah.
Like that.
That being said, this was a cool tattoo.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was a cool tattoo.
The concept is dope.
It's the
Did pretty well.
The tooth as the cork?
Yeah.
Come on, it's awesome.
That's tough. We're being nitpickers here.
Yeah. Well, it is when I get paid.
It's Ink Masters, not Ink Mid.
Ink Trashers.
Yeah. Ink Iders. Ink We Iders.
This is Matt's tattoo, obviously at 1 tattoo of the day.
This is next level.
It's next level.
This is next level.
It really was.
You took every piece of his story that was most important to him and you found this beautiful way of blending it all. And on a day that we're testing you guys on artistry, this is how you do it.
There's no color here, but there's color here, if you know what I'm saying.
But it doesn't need it,
It doesn't
right?
need it at all. The idea has been executed flawlessly. This is the sentence that the guy said. All-seeing eye, inside a bottle, shooting out the
rainbow
of
prism.
wisdom prism
Yeah.
with the hummingbird feeding from the prism of light.
It's almost like you get this idea in your mind, like, there's no way that's possible. There's not. And when someone proves you wrong and they prove you this wrong, you want to applaud them.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to clap
Yeah.
for Matt when I saw this tattoo.
This is tough.
Ew.
I don't like eyeballs. I don't like hummingbirds. Flowers are
Who
cool.
doesn't like hummingbirds?
Not that I don't like them, I don't think about them.
Hummingbird hater.
You know what I'm saying? I like them enough to put a feeder out in the yard. I don't like them enough to get them tattooed on my cap, but I get this tattooed on my neck tomorrow because it's that good.
It is. Okay, so this is Mike's tattoo, and this is the tattoo that ultimately sent him home. There's no artistic intention, there's no creativity, there's not even any sort of effort to make that hourglass interesting. I am bored. I'm bored.
It looks like 2 separate things. So you know, like somebody's getting a sleeve done and there's like different elements to that sleeve. It's like, yo, this is the first part I want a hand, and I also want an hourglass, and then I want koi fish, but I also want a sparrow and a this and a that, and it's like, all right, we're gonna start with the hourglass in the hand. I feel like if you could use Photoshop to squeeze this and like push the hourglass down into the hands,
or something,
he might still be on the show.
But let's be real for a second. Can I be really, really real?
Let's get it.
We're testing artistry today.
Yeah.
Artistry, creativity, turning something dull into something fantastic.
It's kind of basic.
This canvas asked for an hourglass-shaped bottle and a compass.
Okay, yeah.
Can you use your artistry to give them what they want? What does the hand have anything to do with it? And if you couldn't figure it out, create some sort of story.
You could put a compass on the hands or something.
This to me reminds me of like the door of a locker when it opens and all the random stickers are kind of patched on top of each other.
Thank you.
With no cohesion.
Yes.
You know?
Looks like a water bottle.
Yeah, it's put in the skin really nicely.
Yeah.
Super good tattooing. But on a day where we're testing artistry, it just didn't.
My vote goes to Matt.
Pretty much gives you a landslide. The best tattoo of the day goes to Matt.
Awesome, thank you.
So the tattoo of the day went to Matt, and then bottom three were Mike, Keahi, and OJ, with Mike ultimately being the one to go home.
The judges have decided, Mike, you do not have what it takes to be Ink Master.
You do beautiful tattoos. You're an amazing technician, but in this competition, there's so many different components that can trip you up.
How do you feel about that?
I'm okay with it. I think Allie pulled a rabbit out of a hat with her tattoo. And then Mike, again, did not include a lot of what the canvas asked for. Kind of basic and boring.
Yeah.
Artistry-wise, you know what I mean? Technically, super sound, fire tattoo, but not as a standalone piece. Like maybe it's like part of a sleeve or something with like a story there, but as it is, he definitely was the guy to go home.
I thought so too. It was a tough one though. It was a tough debate. Well, before you go, Mero, I'm gonna have you weigh in on an important topic in our world and give your state of the tattoo union of sorts.
All right.
So we talked about name tattoos at the beginning of this episode. How do you feel about family tattoos?
I'm okay with family tattoos. I got 4 kids, and if all 4 of them were like, yo, we want to go get the Kid Mero tattooed on our chest, I'd be like, absolutely, let's go do it.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
Do you think they should all match perfectly or be like related in some way?
I like the idea of family tattoos thematically, right? Like, yo, let's all do a theme. I don't know about getting the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, now, are we a gang or are we a family? You know what I'm saying?
That's true,
we could be both. You know what I'm saying? Like, just let me know what you want to do.
I personally love matching.
I think it's cool. You know what I mean?
Tattoos.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, you want to.
It's cool.
Yeah. So, like, LeBron James and the James clan, you know, they went and they got matching tattoos. Like, I think that's cool. You know what I mean? But you got to be like LeBron. You can't just be like John. You know what I mean? Like HVAC technician being like, hey, we're all gonna get air conditioners tattooed on our backs. You know what I mean? Like there has to be some, these air conditioners paid for this house. We're all gonna get a big old window unit tattooed on our left shoulder blade.
I want an air conditioner, but I want it the color of my wife's birth month.
Yeah, exactly.
And I want my first dog sitting on top, but not how he is now, how he was then.
How he was then, here's a photo.
And I want you to know, I don't have any pictures, but I'm telling you.
Yeah, I don't have no photos. I'm gonna describe it to you in vivid detail.
Perfect.
After 12 beers.
And my budget's $25.
$25, that's all I got for you.
Mero, this was awesome. I wish you could join me for every episode.
I would love to.
Why don't you tell the world where they can find you?
Hey, look, if you're on YouTube, just type in The Kid Mero or youtube.com/@accordingtothekid. Everything is spelled correctly. I'm not trying to get cute out here. I'm not a 1995 hip hop album. It's @The Kid Mero on all social platforms, y'all. You can see me every Monday and every Thursday on Victory Light, accompanied by Lisbeth Ortiz and Renny Ovalle, 2 very talented young comedians. Also, I am with NBA legend and Hall of Famer Carmelo Anthony on 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. Check that out. All of these things are available on YouTube. I am also writing a collection of essays on fatherhood for Random House. Shout out to my guy, Ben Greenberg. We're gonna drop a date on that soon, so stay tuned, because the prose is immaculate.
Cookbook anytime soon?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna get together and do that.
Please.
Let's go.
Please.
What is the thing that you freak every time that you bring to the potluck and everybody's like, yo, Ryan, put a foot in it?
Cucumber, curry, truffle, deviled eggs.
Yo, see? I want you to tattoo this on me. That was so many words that I was like, that don't even sound like, I know it bangs.
It's the vision, you know what I'm saying?
See, come on. This is artist. This is left brains, 2 left brains at the same time.
You know, you put a left brain and a left brain together, what you get?
What's that?
A whole lot of procrastination.
Hell yeah. Mad ideas and no execution. You know what I'm saying?
Zero. Well, that's it for No More Ink. Don't forget to watch this season of Ink Master on Paramount Plus and check out the Ink Master YouTube channel for everything Ink Master. That's a cut!
Yay!
You're awesome. You're fun to have.